The top 10 players currently in the NBA. In today's video, I'm going to be listing the top 10 players in the NBA as of January of 2021. This list is personal opinion and based off of ability and impact, but also proof of ability and impact. Also, I felt that there were 11 players in the NBA that stood above the rest, so I've decided to just make it a top 11 instead of leaving a player out. But with that being said, let's get right into the list. And at number 11 / honorable mention, I have Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler really got himself into the list with his playoff run with the Heat last year, taking a 5 seed to the NBA Finals. His skill set on offense, he's not a great three-point shooter, but he's a good mid-range shooter and is a very good finisher at the rim. He also has the ability to play make and raise his game up in big moments, as we saw in the NBA Finals last year. He is also very good defensively. We saw he was guarding Giannis for a bit in that Bucks series. He was guarding LeBron in the Lakers series last year. Jimmy is also a great leader. As we saw, he inspired the Heat last year. And just the monster stat lines he was putting up in the finals and the monster impact he was having in the finals, winning 2 games for the Heat despite them missing their second and third best players in Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero. So his two-way impact, his leadership, and his ability to finish at the rim and score in the mid-range on offense gets him the number 11 spot on this list. Okay, top 10. Number 10, I have Damian Lillard. A player who also played very well last season, more in the regular season, carrying a Blazers team that was depleted by injury. Nurkic was out. They had a lot of injury problems, and it seemed unlikely they were going to make the playoffs. But in the bubble, Damian Lillard put them on his back, and he took them to the play-in game, and then he won the play-in game, and then he got them to the playoffs. But they lost in the first round to the Lakers, but still, he averaged 30 and 8 on offense. He has the ability to shoot from almost anywhere. I'd say his three-point shooting is his best ability, not only in catch and shoots, but off the dribble from deep. Off high pick and rolls, he can just pull up. He can also get to the rim, where he is a good finisher at the rim. He also has the ability to hit circus threes, you could say, with the step backs and the fadeaways from three-point land. He's also a pretty good playmaker, not great, but can get you about 7 to 8 assists a game, and that's good for a lead ball handler. And also, I don't know if the numbers back me up, but you always feel that he's going to come through in the clutch and that he is a really clutch three-point shooter. So for all those reasons, Damian Lillard is number 10 on the list. Okay, number 9, I have Nikola Jokic. The best true center in the NBA, in my opinion. He is just the complete package for a center. He is averaging a triple-double, and I think that proves that he's the complete package. On offense, the first thing is his playmaking. He really is the point guard sometimes, bringing the ball up. His ability to hit cutters from in the post. His ability to run the two-man game with Jamal Murray, just absolutely incredible. He's averaging 10 assists a game. But also scoring-wise, on offense, he really is one of the most unguardable players in the league. In terms of shooting, he can shoot from the mid-range and from 3. His pick and pop can absolutely destroy slower bigs, and he has hit numerous clutch mid-range shots, whether it be just in the fourth quarter or game winners. He's also a great post player. So if there is a big that can keep up with him, Jokic can likely bully him in the post. And he was even bullying Gobert in the post again in that Jazz series, and that just really impressive. On defense, he's not great, but he's not as bad as people think. He is a big body, so just that will deter some shots. Though he isn't very vertical and lacks jumping ability, and he also has good hands. And he is also a great rebounder to close out the possession, so that matters too. So for all those reasons, Jokic, number 9 on my list. At number 8, I have Luka Doncic. Luka is just an incredible player. For how good he is, at the young age, he's only in his 3rd season. Last season was just a few stats away from a 30-point triple-double. And then in the playoffs, proved he could do it against the Clippers, hit that game winner in game 4, I believe it was, and took the Clippers to 6. On offense, he's a decent 3-point shooter, though sometimes is a bit too happy to go to a step back 3. He is a good finisher at the rim, can use his body to protect the ball, and has a variety of Euro steps and things like that. But I think what sets him apart is his playmaking. Whether it be a pocket pass to the roll man, a lob, or a skip pass to hit the opposite corner, Luka can really do it all in terms of passing. And then defensively, he's not great, but a lot of the work is done for him, given that he is 6'7" and 200 and whatever pounds. So just the great offense, his ability to play, make, and score, number 8 on my list. And now we get to the top 7, I would say. We go up a tier now to the really elite superstars. And at number 7, I have Anthony Davis. Just one of the best off-ball players. And I know that's weird to think about for a big man, but what he can do off-ball with his offensive rebounding and his screening, that he's a lob threat. And then he can also come off pin downs and shoot like he did to hit the game winner in game 2 of that Nugget series. He can also, so he can score from the perimeter, but he's also a really good post player and a really good pick and roll player. He's also great defensively. He was in the running for Defensive Player of the Year last year. I believe he finished 2nd. His ability to block shots and protect the paint, but also his ability to switch on to the perimeter and not get killed. A great two-way player. Maybe the perfect second option for the Lakers right now, and he's number 7 on my list. At number 6, we have James Harden. Was recently traded to the Brooklyn Nets. He's averaged 30 points a game for the last 3 seasons, with the last 2 being 36 points a game and 34 points a game respectively. Just a great shooter and a great offensive player. So he obviously has the step back threes and the off the dribble threes, but he can also finish at the rim, and he gets to the free throw line quite a bit, which helps boost his efficiency and helps him get easy shots. He's also a pretty good passer in terms of lob passes and pocket passes, but it's not one of his biggest strengths. Defensively, he's not great. He has a low motor and sometimes falls asleep, but he's a good post defender, though I don't know how valuable a good post defending guard is. But overall, he's on this list due to his offensive ability, his ability to carry a team offensively with the amount of points and assists he can put up. At number 5, I have Steph Curry, the greatest shooter of all time. Just that is really incredible. He's just an incredible shooter, but that's not. He has much more to his game than that. Whether it be his gravity off ball, how many times have the Warriors gotten an easy dunk because the players are more worried about Steph than the player screening for Steph off ball. His ability to shoot off the dribble, to run pick and roll, to play make both, and to create shots for others, both with his passing and playmaking, but also with his off ball gravity. On the defensive end, he's a decent team defender and a bit of a weak off ball defender. But he also has the ability to mesh with superstars and is really a ceiling raiser for a team. We saw it when KD went to the Warriors. He was a bit, he had the ability to fit well with Steph because Steph can move off ball and be just as impactful off ball than he is on ball. So number 5 is Steph Curry, and at number 4 I have Giannis Antetokounmpo. Back-to-back MVP, won Defensive Player of the Year last season, 60-win regular seasons or on pace for 60 wins for the Bucks for 2 years straight. Just a dominant player. Sort of the modern Shaq in that he lives off a diet of dunks and layups in the paint. One of, if not the best transition player in the NBA for my money. Just his ability to either get a dunk, get to the free throw line, or hit an open shooter in transition is nearly unmatched. In the half court, he almost makes it transition with his long strides and speed and ability to do Euro steps and get to his signature Statue of Liberty dunk. And then defensively, he's the defensive player of the year. He is a great rim protector, great transition defender, and can also switch on to the perimeter. Part of the reason why the Bucks have had one of the best defenses in the league for the past 2 seasons. So just a great two-way player and transition player. He's also a great rebounder, and he's a good playmaker. So number 4 on this list is Giannis. Okay, the top 3. At number 3, I have Kevin Durant. One of, if not the greatest scorer of all time. His ability to shoot from the mid-range to score inside, but also his pull-up above the break 3, one of the most unstoppable and unguardable moves in the NBA. He also has a good handle, great handle for a 7-footer, and is a pretty decent passer and can both raise your floor and raise your ceiling. And then defensively, he's not an incredible defender, especially after his injury, but he's still a very good defender and can be a good one-on-one defender when he locks in, and obviously his length gives him a huge advantage. But just his scoring, his mid-range game, his post game, maybe the most complete scorer in NBA history in that he can score from really anywhere and in any way. One of the players that I'd least like to guard if I ever played in the NBA. Just like, how do you stop him? You try and take away the 3-point shot, he gets a dunk. You try and guard him close in the post, he can do a fadeaway or he can spin to the rim. Just an amazing player, and he gets the number 3 spot on my list. Okay, number 2, I have Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi and KD, one of the closest decisions on this list, but I just edged for Kawhi. On offense, Kawhi is a great player. His ability to score in the mid-range, both off of post-ups and pick and rolls. He's also a good 3-point shooter, both pull-up and catch and shoot. And he's a great finisher at the rim, and he's so strong. So you basically have to foul him to stop him at the rim, and even if you do foul him, he might still get the basket. In the pick and roll is probably the biggest improvement he's seen to his game in recent times. He has become a very good passer out of the pick and roll, both in the ability to hit the roll man, but also if he gets trapped or double teamed, to hit the roll man or to hit a shooter. So just a really good offensive player. And then defensively, not as good as he was before, as he can no longer exert as much effort on the defensive end as he is carrying a bigger load on offense. But still, when he wants to, maybe the best defender in the NBA in terms of one-on-one lockdown. His hands are still a gold standard, his ability to get steals and blocks. And then he's also a great rebounder. You don't get the board man gets paid slogan for nothing. So, maybe the best two-way player in the NBA, Kawhi Leonard, number 2. And then number 1, we all saw it coming, LeBron James. What can you say? Just came off a season where he was 35 years old, and he nearly won the MVP, and he won the Finals MVP, and he won the championship in a dominant fashion. On offense, he is the complete package. His shooting isn't great, but he's still a good 3-point shooter where you have to respect him, and he's improved in recent years from in that standpoint. Can get to the rim almost whenever he wants and get a dunk or layup. in the playoffs he can mismatch hunt and just play bully ball in the post. We've seen him do it for whatever straight finals he appeared in before missing the playoffs in 2019. His playmaking, his passing might be what sets him apart, both in transition and also in the half court, whether it be hitting 80 for a lob or a shooter in the corner. LeBron plus shooters has been the gold standard for making the finals for the past decade. And then he's also a very good transition player. They're similar to Giannis, where he can get a dunk or a layup, but also hit a shooter. And then defensively, he's still very, very good. When he wants to, he can lock down one-on-one. And even if he gets beat, he has the recovery speed to get blocks. He has a few infamous chase down blocks. Also defensively, he is one of the highest IQ players in the NBA right now. He's a walking scouting report. He just knows a ton of tendencies, and he has a ton of tricks to get steals or blocks or rebounds. So all around, the best player in the NBA in terms of ability and impact right now for me, LeBron James. Okay, so that's the end of my list. Just to recap: number 11, Jimmy Butler; number 10, Damian Lillard; number 9, Nikola Jokic; number 8, Luka Doncic; number 7, Anthony Davis; number 6, James Harden; number 5, Steph Curry; number 4, Giannis Antetokounmpo; number 3, Kevin Durant; and number 2, Kawhi Leonard; and number 1, LeBron James. That's the end of this video. Feel free to drop your own top 10 in the comments below, and like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time.